Why can't you find love? How long have you really been single? Really? Having trouble finding that special soulmate? I can solve this one. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Your love trouble? Over. All that and more at secretsofbirthdays.com. Soul Garden. Hello Soul Healers, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host of the universe, Christopher Witecki. And this week your free horoscope is sponsored by yours truly. Right now at soulmart.me, if you buy a 1-hour reading with me, I will throw in a free 30-minute follow-up. This is excellent for a first-time client because it's 2 times to be in the year. We can set intention and we can follow through and make sure it happens. So check that out at soulmart.me while supplies last. And come on down to soulgarden.me, our community of remarkable spirits living their brightest. Jenny Watson is writing this week. She's our village chief, actually, and she's talking about, what is she talking about? Oh my God, drunks walk, that's right, drunks walk the yellow line. Kind of interesting perspective. Sorry to look it up again. I'm not a Virgo. I don't memorize every detail. But I do serve you Virgos, and so does Jenny. And we're also looking for other volunteers in the garden too. So if you want to come help overanalyze everything with our Virgo peeps, come on down. We're looking for you right now. There's no place like Soul Garden. Now, as we start this week, Virgo, we're in transition. On Monday, the sun is 29 degrees Pisces, and that is the tested degree. Virgos will be wrapping up a 30-day transit of focusing on their I balance energy, or I give, I receive. The part of your soul that gives and receives, the give and take of you, which turns into relationships and balance and harmony and whatnot. And this will be really a huge focus for over a decade. You'll be spiritually learning through your relationships. On Monday, however, you'll be tempted back to the old, whatever the old marriage potential was. It might look suddenly like there's been no progress. You might be tested in a given relationship. You might be tested in a way you never thought of, right? Something you hadn't really thought about. But it is a tested day of relationships, and the moon is in Aquarius, so you're feeling every bump in the road on Monday, and your body is also feeling it. You're hyper aware too. Not a fun day on Monday. Then Tuesday, I don't know why I went to Sunday because it rhymes with fun day. Tuesday is 0 degrees, 0 degrees Aries, and I always say 0 means 0. Tuesday will be a cloudy and strange day nonetheless. The moon moves into Pisces on Tuesday, so you start to have a emotional follow-through to the relationship. So you may not feel like your relationship transit is over on Tuesday. It's technically not. You're having emotional follow-through. But the sun is now shifting to the next topic, which is trust. Virgos will be working on your trust and intimacy and boundary issues for the next 30 days. Not just working on them, but having a quantum leap in your perception of boundaries, trust, and intimacy. For Virgos in relationships, this is the plunge in. For Virgos not in relationship, this is the gravity that will pull you into one. All Virgos are on a path for getting closer to people. And the great thing about intimacy transit is you can't really do it alone. So for all of you Virgos out there who have been writing me and saying when, the intimacy transit is going to pull you in. That's when. Okay? Now, as of today, you're in transition. Boundaries. Where we draw our lines really defines everything in life, including our value. When you open a door or close a door, you determine the shape of what you manifest. And you can change shapes of things by being open or closed to certain situations. When it comes to intimacy, you're an Aries, which means you're very self-centered and at times too self-centered, right? Ego can get in the way of a Virgo's intimacy. Ego can make you go 7 hours, and ego can get in the way of ever going at all. It has its pluses and negatives, but this is a transitional time for Virgos. I think that will separate the Virgo successes from the non-successes, because if you can't mutate and be flexible in your boundaries, you're not going to go with a very fast changing earth, all right? So on this first day on Tuesday, you're starting to feel it, but emotions are based on relationships. This red line, incidentally, is fear. Fear between your inner self, afraid that you won't have what your heart desires, and also a fear of letting go of the old story. okay? And believe it or not, we have a hard time letting go of the old story. We don't realize it. We're letting go of the old fight. A lot of time letting go of the old story means you lost a lot of battles. So sometimes we don't want to let go of that. But you're going to be working through fears between jumping into the new intimacy and stepping out of the old inner child story, all right? Now don't forget, on Tuesdays we have office hours. In fact, Tuesdays and Thursdays with our Soul Mart practitioners. You can come on down to soulgarden.me, hop in on a webcam, ask a question, chat with our practitioners. It's a way to get to know us. We also have a chat room. I'm often in there cracking jokes. So come on down. That's 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 9 a.m. Honolulu, 6 p.m. London. Come on down. Then Wednesday, we shift into gear. The sun is 1 degree. You're starting to feel it. You will assess on Wednesday exactly how safe or unsafe you feel. This is the first day assessment, so to speak, of the vibration. Notice how the sun is on approach for Uranus. That will be the quantum leap in your thinking when it comes to trust and intimacy. And I do believe that Virgos are up for a quantum leap for a lot of reasons. You haven't really changed boundaries since you did Virgo 2.0. You haven't changed boundaries to upgrade your new value structure, which is what this is really about, is you changing the way you draw lines so you can accept the abundance you deserve, so you can accept the value you deserve. But these haven't been done, so it's not surprising Virgos are going to do this. The moon will still be in Pisces on Wednesday, so although you're starting to explore whether you feel safe, you might be doing it or thinking about it from a relationship perspective only, since your heart is still in the relationship pool. Again, working out the fears. Now, for those of you who are watched over by me in the Guardian Agency, I will send out personal with text on Wednesday, sending out warnings or also accolades to strengths or weaknesses you have in the Aries vibration according to your natal chart. So those go out on Wednesday. You could get several depending on how many aspects you have in Aries. Then on Thursday, it's Lightcast Day, the most powerful day of the month to set our intentions forward and tell the universe what we want, known as a new moon in pagan religion or in classic astrology. The moon has caught up to the sun and this Uranus. Look at this gigantic nuclear energy here, basically. It is nuclear. All focused on what? Where you draw your boundaries. Trust, intimacy, surrender, etc. Again, working out its conflict. On Thursday, no matter where you are, you definitely want to fill your heart with love and you want to cast out that intention of this is the trust I want. This is the intimacy I want. And don't forget, intimacy is into me I see. You cannot be close to anyone unless you can see the same levels within yourself. So for some Virgos, this might be into me I see only and not with someone else as of yet. If you haven't done that work, if you're a young Virgo in your 20s, it might be into me I see. Regardless, it leads to wow chicka bow wow, so you can't lose. However, this is a day where you want to cast out in the universe, this is what my heart wants, just so the universe is clear. Okay, then we have Friday, and Friday might be a little bow chicka bow wow. Jupiter's going to rule the day. The moon has moved off of the epicenter of Uranus and is free in the trust of intimacy. So you might kind of want to connect or test the waters or see where you're at emotionally. Not surprising. It is Aries after all. There's a lot of aggressive energy on the planet, even though Mars is retrograde. I brought up the Grand Trine because this hasn't gone away. Remember that holy shift we had last week? Well, for Virgos, the holy shift was stepping out of a whole old meaning in life. The old meaning of life. Why life was meaningful in the old days. Stepping toward a new reason why life is meaningful. And this meaningful prophecy that you will fulfill this year, by the end of the year you will have new meaning, okay, and new understanding and therefore new legacy. But in that whole direction, you changing what you're comfortable with and your willingness to change boundaries is essential if you plan to be a different shape by the end of the year. So this is all very quantum important work. Now, if you want a little company on Friday, don't forget we've got SG Live with Carolyn Nagel and myself. We'll be talking about courage this week because courage is, after all, a part of the Aries vibration. It's what Arises do best, but how the hell do they do it? We'll talk about it with a special guest. That's at 11 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Honolulu, 6 p.m. London. And if you can't make it, no worries. We do record it. It's available over the weekend. Then comes our new weekend. This is a holiday I've just invented. Okay, it will be every time the sun conjuncts Uranus. It's your heads up Uranus weekend. And that's because I have realized in my quantum leap that the only reason why people have to go through quantum leaps is because they had their head up Uranus. In other words, when there is a potential holy, amazing, I can't believe it's not butter moment, it's usually because we were so focused on margarine or whatever it was, right, that we didn't even know that, I can't believe it's not butter existed. And that's what a quantum leap is that we we have had our head up Uranus. So the truth is, you've been very stubborn and closed-minded about trust and intimacy, and probably not been willing to change for a long time. And I'm sure you've had your reasons. But what this whole weekend is about is recognizing that it's not worth fighting for anymore, because there's a new potential if you're willing to make the quantum leap. So this is maybe seeing intimacy on a new level, seeing trust on a new level, trusting yourself for the first time. This could even be as simple as an alcoholic going sober, which is your moment of trusting yourself for the first time. It can play out in lots of ways, but the point is it's a new day when it's over. Now, on Sunday, the moon moves into Taurus, which means right after we have our quantum leap and we pull our head out of Uranus, boom, you feel the new meaning. You feel the new purpose. You emotionally follow through with last week's holy shift. So the universe is very coordinated with screwing with our minds, isn't it? Love it when it takes over like this. All right, Virgos, that's all I got for this 7-day forecast. Be sure to look us up, SG Live and GA, sign up, get a reading, or I'll see you in 7 days. But either way, live, love, be.